I guess shredded like shredded wheat breakfast cereal. Not a lot of breakfast cereals are shredded. Yes, that was a Calliope, Sherman Calliope. That just killed a huge crap ton of stuff, mostly infantry though, and a mortar. Sherman Calliope is basically a Sherman with a rocket launcher on the top. And it's a very impressive rocket launcher. Is that another Calliope firing? Or no, the Calliope gets 2 barrages before it has to reload, and it's going to be reloading for quite a while, but it's a Sherman, so it can take care of itself. It's got a gun that can fire. Company of Heroes, there's a Sherman Calliope, but they made the main gun not work for some reason. It used to work, but then they decided, you know what, that's not going to work. So driving his M19 through some buildings, because why the heck not? One of the tough things about direct control is that sometimes if your opponent's far away, you can either look at him or look at yourself, and you can't do both at once, and you end up crushing things you didn't mean to crush. Although in this case, I think he does mean to crush this stuff. I'm not sure why he means to crush this stuff. It's not a good idea to smash these buildings up because he's using them for cover. And one of the guys in his M19 got hit by the falling debris and died. But you know, that's the thing with open top. Be very careful crushing stuff with open top vehicles. Oh, he didn't die. He was just knocked unconscious. Be very careful crushing things with open top vehicles or with tanks with a guy on top, because stuff will fall down on them and kill them. So his AT gun got its barrel shot, so it's not going to be able to kill anything. And his M19 lost its tread from that tank, I believe, the Panzerkampfwagen ALSFG. I learned what ALSF means, what it stands for, but then I forgot. I could probably look it up, but I don't know. And now he's dead. No more M19. That's his second M19. So maybe he'll move up to some heavier tanks. Maybe he'll fall back on some infantry. I don't know. But like I said, I would be probing the left, because certainly he's not being attacked on the left. So we have a stalemate, and he's not helping out a lot in the middle with his M19 antics. They're not doing a lot. So I would send some exploratory stuff to the left, see how much stuff is there, and then if there's not a lot of stuff, mount an assault. And if there is, fight in the middle again, which is what he's doing with his M19, I guess. Oh no, so he's really dedicating himself to the middle. He bought an AT gun, and he's also sending it to the middle, so, but really big on his M19s. I guess his ally just lost some assault infantry, so that's interesting. Assault infantry, incredibly powerful. I was just playing some games against Lollybo the other day. Long story, but we were playing Men of War, and he was using some assault infantry, and those guys are just brutal. They are so good. That armor is just nuts. It makes them, they can stand up to anybody. They're prone in a field firing at you, and you're prone in a field firing at them. I mean, come on, they're gonna win because of the body armor. So he managed to dismantle his Panzer IV, hitting the weakened side armor, and there's no side skirts. Mostly the Panzer IV was dead before that, but he manages to punch through and kill what was left of it. So M19 gun is no joke, and you see him laying some bushes over his AT gun. Things like AT guns and mortars come with bushes. You can deploy the bushes. There's a bush there. You hope your opponent does not notice that this bush came out from nowhere. Oof, M19 owned by the Pak 40 AT gun. And now he's actually being attacked on the left by some stuff. It remains to be seen whether this mortar barraging and Pak 40 shelling is a prelude to an assault, or just the guy on the left picking off what he can see. Either way, it would be a nice time to push forward. I'm always saying push forward. I'm a big believer in attacking all the time, just for kicks. Because what kind of game is fun if you're just sitting around not attacking? And the answer is turret defense. But even that's not very fun. So what's he doing with his AT gun? Just waiting for a vehicle to come and loading an AP shell, I guess. But yeah, he's certainly trying to help his ally out in the middle while holding off with left. I'm not sure if they're playing no refund or refund. Can't remember the name of it. Reimbursement is what the loading screen calls it, but that is incorrect. The real name is something else. But if he is playing on no refund, which I think he is, I don't know. I'll have to pay attention next time he loses a unit and see if he gets some points back. But if he's playing on no refund, it would definitely be worth it to push up, because he's got enough stuff at this point, 2 AT guns to and an M19 to hold off any counter assaults, even if his assault fails. So he could buy like an assault infantry squad or a ranger squad and send them in to do some scouting, do some probing, and even if that assault fails, he'll still be safe on the left. But if this is no refund, then you gotta conserve everything you can, and I can understand why he wouldn't want to push forward when they still have the majority of the points, why you want to play a bit more cautiously in no refund. But maybe have a reserve of points around. We'll see. I'd be careful with his M19 though, because he knows there's a Pak-40 lurking around, and although the Pak-40 will have to reveal itself to shoot the M19 and leave itself open to retaliatory AT-gun fire, that's totally not a fair trade. This is what, his third M19, his fourth M19? It's getting a little ridiculous. Look at that Sherman. Come on, what are you just driving a Sherman into enemy territory for? That's not happening. Something just exploded. I wonder what that was. Maybe that was dynamite. Yeah, don't drive tanks in unless you've scouted for the tanks first. That's just asking for it. You don't know what's hidden there. You don't know if there's mines. You don't know if there's people hiding in bushes with anti-tank weapons. You don't know if there's tanks. You don't know if there's AT guns. All sorts of nasty things can happen to a tank if it goes in before the infantry has cleared the way. And you will learn this the hard way, or you will learn this the easy way by listening to me drone on about it, although that's not so much easy as it is boring. Boring, boring, boring. He bought a scout. Where's his scout? His scout's coming up on the road. So that's one other way of probing their defenses. I prefer to probe their defenses with, like, attacks rather than scouting, because, like, I figure, well, I can scout and then attack, or I can just attack. Whee! But obviously having more intelligence before you throw your men into the breach has certain advantages. Most significantly, far fewer casualties, and it makes the entire attack just an easier, smoother process. But neither of those things are things that I value enough to send a scout in and tediously micromanage him for 5 minutes before I get to the fighting. I'm more about the fighting and less about the watching my man crawl to a bush. Alright, I'm at a bush, and now I wait for a while and look for stuff. Yeah, see? That's exciting. Not... Imagine if that was an assault infantry squad. It would just be like, whoa, we're all in a bush. But you don't want them all in a bush. You want them all in different bushes. To each man his own bush. 2 men in 2 bushes are worth 6 men in a bush and a hand and a bird. But if the bush has a bird, you don't want that bush, because then the birds will fly away and it'll alert your enemy. Battlefield 2 has that. I recently played some Battlefield 2 because Forgotten Hope 2, the World War II mod, released a new version, and that thing is fantastic. If you at all like World War II, and if you own Battlefield 2, you most likely like World War II if you're watching this video. That or real-time strategy games. But if you like World War II, definitely try Forgotten Hope 2. It is fantastic. It is professional level quality. Pretty much the only downside is that it's going to take a couple of years to download. It's approximately 16,000 gigabytes, maybe. I know I had to buy 4 hard drives just to fit it. So his M19 is doing some pretty good damage. I feel like any second now some Pak-40 is going to shoot out. Very narrowly dodged that shell. Hits the remnants of that building, and he pretty much right after that demolishes that building. So he is quickly running out of things to hide behind. But he does kill 2 people in that Puma. Now the Puma's dead. You can kill people in a vehicle without doing much damage to the vehicle. You can put little holes in it, but yikes! And I'm thinking that's a Calliope hitting right there, because nothing else could cause that sort of devastation, and also be branded Calliope in the upper left. It is very unlikely for a vehicle that's not a Calliope. And I believe that text says you are a whore. Now I've never heard of whores using artillery, but assuming they do, that would be a fair assessment. I gotta say, I don't think it's very likely. But yes, Calliopes can be incredibly annoying. To be fair, that shell that just landed 2 inches left of his M19 is artillery, so it's not like the Allies are the only guys doing it. And although I'm not a huge fan of artillery, I certainly do love mortars, and there's nothing wrong with adding some boom to your offensive, as long as you actually have an offensive, as long as you're not just sitting back and shelling people until the cows come home, and then you're like, what's up, cows? And they're like, dude, have you just been sitting here the entire time shelling people? And you're like, yes. Then they're like, no milk. And you're like, oh.